Hi, I'm PFT commenter. You might know me from the Extremely Sticking to Sports Pardon My Take podcast, or from the time I got Peter King to look at Brazilian fart porn. But what you might not know about me is I've been covering politics since 2015, where I hit the campaign trail, crushed some libs and stomped some pepes, and interviewed some of the biggest names in the game.
Trump, when you talk about shutting down parts of the internet, do you mean pornography as well?
Would you be in favor of aborting baby Hitler?
Oh my God.
I'm not in favor of aborting anybody.
Ben Carson tonight said he would not abort baby Hitler.
Politics has become more of a sport than most sports are. So what better person to cover it than yours truly?
Would you say that Danny Amendola or Julian Edelman is grittier?
The old method of choosing your preferred candidate based on which one you'd most like to drink a beer with, that's for pussies. What I want to do is figure out which candidate I want to get blind drunk with off Mad Dog. This is Mad Dog 2020.
We are here with Governor John Hickenlooper. We're at a brewery here in Detroit the night before the DNC debate. I want to start with this. I read online that you grew up in the Quaker Church. So I want to start this off the way that we would in a Quaker church, which is just basically sitting around completely silently until somebody, one of the two of us, feels moved to speak. You have a great name for detective. I just want to say, like, Detective Hickenlooper would be a great detective name.
If I am lucky enough to win the primary and run against Donald Trump, he's going to come up with a nickname for me, right? Poop and Scooper, Chicken Cooper.
Shit and Pooper.
Hey.
Was that a good one?
This is a family show, isn't it?
No, we can cuss on here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we can drink beer, we can cuss, you name it.
Mother of Jesus.
Yeah, watch it. That out, Lamb. You were the mayor of Denver. You were the governor of Colorado. You should just run on the platform that, like, if Tim Tebow can win a playoff game under my watch, imagine what we can do as a nation. The miracles that we can work as a nation.
Did you say your name is PTSD?
PTSD commenter.
Yeah, that PSD commenter. Because, you know, a lot of people in Colorado have really tough times remembering Tim Tebow because everybody wanted to succeed and it was a disaster.
No, that's the weed. That makes it hard to remember out there.
Huh?
Speaking of marijuana, you actually oversaw another big progression in Colorado from, I guess, medicinal marijuana to now recreational marijuana, that whole thing. You were not in favor of it when it was first becoming a thing. What changed your mind, and how high did you get?
When I get new facts, if the facts dictate, I change my mind, right? That people that don't do that are idiots.
My stance on marijuana is that I think it's gotten too good recently. I think we need to bring back mid-grade stuff because I get too high and I forget. I'm watching a movie and I forget what I saw 5 seconds ago. So I don't know. I'm probably a niche voter. You probably don't want to market your entire campaign to me on that one. Let's make weed less good. You might actually get a lot of centrist votes on it now that I'm saying out loud. That might be right in your sweet spot. So you progressed on that issue. You've progressed as well on the death penalty, which I thought was interesting. So you put a stop to executions in Colorado not too long ago.
In our hemisphere, I believe Guatemala is the only country that still has a death penalty.
North Korea definitely has the death penalty. I know that. I can fact check it, but I'm pretty sure North Korea.
Oh yeah, and there's a handful.
They just shoot tank artillery at people in North Korea. Like, you have some level-headed ideas about you. I think that what you're running into though is, like, if you're going to be the dad of the Democratic Party, that is going to be, like, tough for people to get, like, really, really amped up about. What would you say your prime demographic would be for, like, who is the Hickenlooper voter right now?
I think my ideal demographic is from 18 to 70.
Okay. No, so anybody over 71.
Yeah,
Tough luck. We don't want your vote.
Think about it. I'm the only person running who has actually done what everybody else is just talking about, right? I was out of work for 2 years before I started the Wine Coop Brewing Company, which became the largest brew pub in the country.
So you were the first craft brewer in Colorado?
We were the first brew pub, the second craft brewer in the Rocky Mountains.
So how many Life is Good shirts do you own? I feel like that's like the starter pack. So I want to throw a challenge flag. If we could put a challenge flag in and post. A red flag coming out on the field. Ed Hockley's walking out with his thunderous biceps. You think that 100 million people in America right now really like their health insurance company?
You know, Medicare for All is saying within 4 years everyone's going to be on this, right? why don't we create a public option that could be Medicare or maybe Medicare Advantage, but something like that. And if it's really as good as Senator Sanders says, and if that's what we're going to do, put that public option out there and see if it really attracts people. If it does, it'll get larger, costs will come down, quality will improve, it'll attract more people. We might end up with Medicare for all, but it would be, in 15 years, it would be an evolution, not a revolution.
My response would be that if you start something and you intentionally keep it small, then it's going to be perpetually underfunded. And
I'm not keeping it small.
Well, if it's like the public option, there are barriers to accessing it.
There's no barriers to access.
Even with like Obamacare, there was Obamacare. Like I was on Obamacare for several years. I didn't like it. I don't think that many people like their health insurance to begin with. People like the relationship they have with their doctors, right? They like being able to get cheap health care. I don't think that they like their insurance companies necessarily.
No, I agree. I mean, there's lots of things in life we don't like, but we put up with, right? You're rolling the dice. You're putting the dice out on the table, and you're hoping that the federal government's suddenly going to magically change and do something that, in your heart of hearts, you know is a long shot.
I'm not necessarily arguing for single payer or against it. I'm putting out what my dumb thoughts are.
You're a journalist,
and I'm a journalist. I'm asking the tough questions. Capital J. On that journalism, so make sure you get that right. But I think you make some arguments that I understand your side too, but I think a lot of people across America are looking at these already developed countries that have a system in place.
But they evolved.
That work.
None of them started that and created a revolution and said, all right, we've been doing this, we're going to do that.
So you would be in favor of a single payer system, provided that it followed the steps to get there and that everybody liked the public option.
People made choices. This country is based on people's freedom of choice in all kinds of things. And to try and say we're going to arbitrarily have government come in and take away the private insurance from 180 million people, I don't see how anyone can even imagine that. The only people that will think that are people like Senator Sanders who've really never implemented a program before. We governors, we got to balance our budget every year. We don't get to print money, and we have to actually make sure that things work.
All right, so let's switch it up real quick. I'll give you a much easier topic that we can kind of chop it up about a little bit here. What's going on with the Denver airport?
It's a big, beautiful airport, DIA.
You know what I mean. What's up with the Denver airport?
Well, you mean the stuff down in the basement?
That was an ominous way to put it. The
Well,
stuff down in the basement. Yeah, let's start there.
You know what it is. You know what is down there.
Bomb shelter?
Oh my God, it's worse than that. I mean, they've been looking for some of those bodies for a long time.
Okay, see? Get to the bottom of it right now. There's a giant conveyor belt underneath the airport that doesn't work.
Exactly.
You have to think that I'm dumb by trying to tell me that. The airport is twice as big as the island of Manhattan. It's the biggest airport in the United States. And it's like the 20th busiest airport in the United States.
No, it's the fifth.
Fifth busiest. Okay, you guys have been doing more trafficking since you legalized marijuana. There's more
That is-
drugs going out.
No. First, it's legal, and we don't ship marijuana anywhere. It's legal in our state.
I've flown out of Colorado with marijuana before. Do you have to arrest me?
Are you serious?
Yeah. You have, I guess, face blindness is the term. I'm not sure, but I'll let you speak on it.
Prosopagnosia. So that we could sit here and talk for another 2 hours. I could see you tomorrow morning in Starbucks. I would not recognize your face. I just wouldn't. Really? Now, I'd remember that you had really long hair.
Okay.
Right? And it was kind of messy.
Yeah, very messy. No, I didn't shower today. You're good at that. You're very perceptive.
So if someone comes towards me and they look like they recognize me and they're glad to see me, I assume that I know them. And so I'll look glad to see them. And I try to balance my receptiveness to their eagerness. And, every once in a while I get full of, I'll kiss a woman.
Careful.
I'll kiss a woman on the cheek, and she'll look at me and she goes, have we met?
Yeah.
But that happens once in a blue moon.
That's a good excuse. That is a really good excuse. I don't want to say, I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying, like,
it was never an
fellas
excuse.
out there, if that's a really good excuse if you need one. Last question I had for you. I read, and this was on Wikipedia, so it might be totally incorrect, that you're a very good squash player.
Well, I wouldn't say very good. I love biking. I love hiking. I love playing squash.
And you're not the dad of the Democrat. You're a squash player. What is squash? As far as I know, it's like racquetball with a sweater, right?
It's like rutabagas. You don't know what squash is? Squash grows on the ground.
Yeah, I know eggplants. I'm an emoji guy.